Alright, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and this week I won't be having my co host, Avira, as he is feeling crook at present. So I wish him quick recovery from what ails him. So, joining us today, we have our, as always, present interim host, Noble.
Good evening, good day, good morning, good night, good afternoon.
As for all the times in the world, wherever you're at.
Yeah, gotta love time zones. Uh, Gil.
Yes. Time zone are quite a bit of a global pain, I should say. But hey, I mean, in a way, they're sort of good, but in a way, it kind of gets in the way, like a lot too. But yeah, how you guys been doing? I'm also happy to be back in the show, and always happy for another chance to talk shit.
As always, it's a pleasure to have you back on. After all, if we're all stuck here, we may as well make the best of it.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, guys, we have a special one to bring you guys on this podcast. As nobody could have guessed it, it's more of your everybody's favorite, Ubislop.
Righto. To start things off, yes, we talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows on the previous episode about how there were so many things wrong with it. We talked about how the titular character Yasuke was right. It was, well, to put it very lightly, a footnote in the annals of history. And he's not exactly the most Japanese among them.
You can already guess by now what it really means.
So, my sort of take on the whole thing would be how are the Japanese responding to this? And it turns out with a lot of confusion, which
Right.
doesn't bode well. It's like Cleopatra. If the Egyptians don't like the fact that the person is black, then you might want to pay attention to what they're saying.
Right. In fact, it got to when Assassin's Creed Shadows' announcement trailer was releasing, in the Japanese version of it, it got disliked so badly, and it makes you wonder,
The memes are coming.
the Japanese want none of it, really. They don't know what they think about it, and yet they want none of it.
I can already see the moment they're just gonna clown on it so hard. It's gonna be phenomenal.
So, I'm curious, what's the latest news article about?
Right. So
Oh, you already know.
now here's what's happened with Yasuke. He's not exactly what you think he is, though. And as we said, footnote in history, that's really all he is. Assassin's Creed Shadows Yasuke was no samurai, despite what Ubisoft narrative writers, DI narrative writers say, and historical records prove. So
Oh my god.
you know how they like to imagine how he was, an African samurai. Instead, the historical records actually do say otherwise.
You already know. You already fucking know. You already know all this shit.
So let me get this straight. They've taken what historians have said and decided to go, yeah, no, we're going to do our own thing.
Pretty much. Like, what?
Now,
Let's take this character and yeah.
this other thing that's sort of I'm finding a bit confusing here. Wouldn't it be more appropriate for this to have him as a ninja?
You think, right? You think. But hey, Jolt, could you scroll up just a little bit? Just a little itty bit. Look at that. Look at the top left text of this picture, and you already know. You already know. Ah, my God.
We will get to that in a moment. That will be on one of the on the table. We will get to that in a second. So, to give you a bit of background, an ex-user checked the historical records on Yasuke, the original text of the annual report of the Society of Jesus in Japan, at the National Diet Library, the Nobunaga Koki, Chronicle of Oda Nobunaga, and Yatada's Diary, posted on X is translated. The theory that Yasuke was a candidate for the Lord of the Castle has spread overseas, so I checked the original text at the National Library. Basically, Yasuke was strong, had some talent, and was Nobunaga's favorite. So people in Kyoto were saying maybe he'll become the Lord. What talent is it? And yet, you know what? Here's the thing. This was actually part of the history when the Jesuits were in Japan, and yet they just and yet these people have just glamorized him. So it's like, what the heck? They just basically took him there, and he's like, oh, okay, let's make him the title of the show, star of the show.
But
No
of
surprise, right?
course, yeah. But of course, of course.
So hold on a minute. This is a black person from history that was seen in a good light, and what exactly they're doing with the guy?
Well, they just, I mean, truth be told, right now they just basically, revering him as a sort of saint nowadays. But the truth is, it's actually not as rosy. So here's the thing, though. Feudal Japan would not have been familiar with Africans, and points out that historical records indicate that Yasuke was treated as a curiosity from start to the end of his limited stay in Japan. Everything about Yasuke can be understood from the documents. The novelty of seeing a black person drew so many people that some died, well, to see him. There was the view that Yasuke was sort of a black slave from start to finish. In fact, the story goes Nobunaga, his son, and his nephew were amused by his black skin. They gave him about 700,000 yen, which in today's money would be about about maybe $4,000 or so US,
Lucky,
give or take.
lucky bastard.
I mean, still, when you consider that the yen is crashing these days, it's
Unfortunately.
it's a bit of a thing to think. But I mean, still, it's a lot of money for the time, I'm sure, no doubt about it. In fact, the closing status is this: there are no historical records indicating that Yasuke was given official samurai status, received land, or received a family name. What the record shows is that Yasuke was given a house, a short sword, and rice. And he was not the brave warrior either.
Nope.
Yeah. So just to stop for a second there. Now, how common was it for people to have swords back then?
I mean, I would imagine it'd be it'd be an honor to receive a sword. Not that I am a historian of, a Japanese historian of any kind.
Yeah, but my understanding of that period is that swords were rapidly common. I mean, it'd be like having a car today.
Yes.
And again,
So
go on.
you want to ignore like that factual part of history? I'm confused.
Right.
So, and there's also another big thing. I mean, that a lot of people do tend to, well, let's say, get mixed up. That I mean, the same thing happens with cowboys also too. And the thing is, that cowboys and samurais have in common is that they were both pretty much glorified farmers per se.
Pretty much. Well, no, samurais were more of a noble sort of side of society back then.
Well,
Sorry,
yes.
black.
Well, yes, but of course, the prophet. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they're still pretty much glorified farmers with good reason, though.
Well, no, as far as I understand, samurais didn't own farms. It was more social status, not a. Sorry, I was thinking that you go samurais versus cowboys. I don't know why I've got
Damn.
What the heck, right? Now
that. No, seriously.
Some sort of real disjointed shit, right there.
Old Western Americans versus cowboys versus feudal Japan samurais.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
All right, so that's cut me off.
Okay.
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, all right, so if you want to have an assassin that's going to travel to Japan and do shit, you don't want him black. I'm
That's the
sorry,
thing.
but he's going to stand out like a sore thumb when he tries to like do anything.
Right, and that's part of the thing too. Like it would have been a story like it was like localized entirely in Japan about a monk, but the writers decided to scrap that idea, and we have this instead.
Of course, and you know for a fact they're just gonna ruin his image even more somehow. You just know it. Wink, wink.
So really, at the end of the day, what we have isn't exactly someone who is a proper samurai in the history books. In fact, just somebody who is who ended up just being that the nobles just saw him as nothing but a slave.
Indeed. So again, Jolt, I got a bit of a question too, though. Now that we're talking about Ubisoft, and of course, you know how the modern status quo would be. So they're going to make this black gay samurai, right, to
Hmm.
fight the evil white supremacist samurai or some shit like that. I mean, you can already see it
Wait,
happening. You can
wait,
already see it
wait, wait,
happening.
wait. So is this just something you're saying, or is this actually confirmed for the
No,
game
no,
where they're
no,
having
no.
a?
I'm
It's
just
it's
making a guess. I'm just making an educated guess.
Oh, that is just way too much insertion. I'm sorry.
But you
it's
know, you just know that they're just gonna pull some stunt like that. You
well,
just know.
you might get the answer to that question right about now. In
Oh
fact,
boy, am I right? I think I am right. Unfortunately, so even.
well, Ubisoft seems to confirm that the Assassin's Creed Shadows, Douglas Yasuke now are LGBTQ plus.
Great.
How do the Japanese feel about this?
Like shit. That like me. I even feel like shit. Oh my
In
god.
fact, yes, there is supposedly romance in the game, and the options the writers say romantically they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through prepared, players will get to experience a multitude of relationships.
Oh my god.
2025 dating is now solely online in games with NPCs. Are you fucking serious?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, there is no hope for society at this point.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're just gonna play a simulator on feudal Japan and just be a virtual slut, basically.
I thought, what was that other game where they had that bestiality shit in it that they
Baldur's Gate
Oh
advertised?
3.
no. Oh,
Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I
no.
thought Baldur's Gate was basically going to be the no, 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 no. They're just bringing it into normal gameplay. Are you serious?
At this point, I might as well go for it. Go date a Deathclaw.
I think, if I'm being honest with you, I think Assassin's Creed was definitely much tamer than Baldur's Gate 3 because, like, a lot
All
of
right,
people, Baldur's Gate 3 is like horny on steroids.
sorry.
Agreed.
I've got this comment I want to bring up. It's a great idea to fuck up a game and to get your development team fired. No, no. See, the development team isn't going to get fired. They're going to be discontinued because the company is basically going to go, oh, we didn't make any money.
I mean,
Precisely.
it's like I said before, Noble. You know, their stocks are just gonna hit the ground harder than 9/11 jumpers.
Yeah, I still don't like that joke.
It,
Right.
it's beyond fucked up.
Yeah. So this and that wasn't even the messed up part. So this is the messed up part that we said we were going to have earlier. So Ubisoft has contracted Dartmouth associate professor Sachi Smith Hori in an an LGBTQ activist on her bio on the Dartmouth website reads, I am interested in investigating how gender, sexuality, corporeality, and power are represented and negotiated in pre-17th century Japanese narratives and illustrations. My first book, Tales of Idolized Boys, Male Love in Medieval Japanese Narratives,
Hmm.
is on medieval Chigo Monogatari, Buddhist acolyte tales, which often depict romantic relationships between Buddhist priests and adolescent boys.
Uh huh. FBI.
Yeah,
Now, hold on. Are these historical or are these fictional? That would be my only question.
the sheer fact that somebody is interested in such topics if across history really makes you think.
Yeah, it really does make you think. Buddhist and adolescent boys. Jesus Christ Almighty.
Yeah, well, I mean, to
It
say
makes the
nothing about.
Catholic.
I mean, all this. I mean, this is pretty much the stereotypical wine aunt lives divorced and her entire life is a mess. So she has to spread that mess like the flood from Halo.
I'm trying to take a guess here, but it sounds like it's a Catholic saying, "Hold my beer."
Oh,
Was
what
it the
in?
Catholics that I was thinking of, or the?
Mm, go on, go
I
on.
mean, perhaps, but
Yeah,
you
my
are right.
brain's
It is a
hurting.
hold my beer moment. Like Buddhist thingos back then, Buddhist priests back then, Buddhist now.
Oh my God, it's awful.
So yes, you have like when you have somebody on your that you're on your consulting team that who's willing to explore such things. Well, yeah.
It's gonna be yet another anti-white piece of meat, isn't it? Come on,
Well,
you
look,
you already know by
if
now.
anything, it's anti-Japanese.
Yeah, pretty much. Just as pretty much like shitty on Egyptian culture. So bad that even an Egyptian prime minister had to had to step up.
No, the
Oh my
Egyptian
God.
Ministry of Tourism did say, they shunned the Netflix's Cleopatra.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there was a Nubian king in Egypt, so why couldn't they cover that? But oh well, I guess actual black people aren't really worth reporting on.
I mean, of course, unless it promotes their agenda, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm sitting here and looking at this, and I'm thinking, hang on, surely there's going to be actual like gay relationships in feudal Japan they could have targeted.
True. True.
All right, I'm sorry, but did you have anything else to say, Gil, about this or Jolt?
It's. I mean, what do you expect? It's Ubisoft. It's fucking Ubisoft, and not only that, but things since the Boombox said that they're about their stocks falling down. I did catch. I mean,
That's right.
another report saying that their stocks went down 50% after they released
The trailer.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
That's right. I caught that
So,
too.
I mean, you kind of wonder. I mean, the trend with AAA now games is to see who can kill themselves the quickest.
Well, yeah, that's it. The trend of AAA games is who can basically die out by death, death by a thousand cuts, and having, and taking deals with those consulting firms.
Hey, I mean, they should probably ask Kurt Cobain. He got it. He got it right.
All right, I have to ask what the next story is
All
because
right, before we
my
do
brain's
go,
hurting.
we're gonna share a meme just before we do move on to the next item that was sent.
Well, don't
So
hold back. Let's see.
here we go.
Sorry, Ubisoft, but Valve did it first. Brilliant.
TF2.
Yep,
Of course,
they just gave the man's a katana.
Of course, good
Those
old
top stuff.
TF2.
There you go. So yes, the idea of
Yeah, I mean, and then again, well, TF2 seems to be a way better experience than whatever Ubisoft brings to the table.
all right. So this next item that we've got, I'm sure Noble, you've got a very keen interest on what's going on here, and especially if you are the owner of, you know, any Apple device, which you have my sympathies.
I have
Or whatever.
myself owned 3 iPhones since the 4th came out.
I myself have only got an iPhone 4 once and one point, and then I'm like, nah, I am never having an iPhone again.
Well, can you bring up the news article I sent?
Let's
Right.
find. Let's see.
So, first things first. Yes, if you are the owner of any Mac device, here's some trouble brewing for you. Troubling iOS on 17.5 bug reportedly resurfacing old deleted photos.
Now, there have been numerous tweets online and other posts and comments about how old photos are not only reappearing on someone's device, but once they've erased and then sold the phone, those same photos, the photos that were taken and deleted years ago, are reappearing on someone else's, when someone else owns it. So that's disconcerting to some level, but not surprising. Thank you, Apple.
I mean, if Apple's like that, then, well, you can only expect so much how Google might fuck up with their beautiful little Android devices.
So the part I wanted to focus on this, that second paragraph. Same thing happened to me. Replied another user. Some photos from different times, all I have deleted. Some I had deleted in 2023. More reports have been tracking over. Hang on.
One said, I had a random photo from a concert taken on my Canon camera reappear in my phone library, and it showed up as if it was added today.
Yeah. So there must have been some recovery software that Apple had introduced into 17.5, or that had been introduced a long time ago and it's just suddenly triggered randomly and brought back photos and said, "Oh, this must be new."
It could be handy, but at the same time, it could be a embarrassing nightmare too. Which also just brings us to this to highlight a comment from Boombox. So someone gets to make an OnlyFans off an old account. Oof.
Yeah, no, this is a little different.
Joel, yeah.
Yes.
The other thing I sent you, can you bring that up for me?
Okay. Apple says privacy matters in humorous new iPhone ad.
Now, I want you to understand that for a while, Apple had been advertising that their phones were quote unquote secure. What happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone. Yeah, that's the thing. It stays permanently. Now, I still have all 3 of my iPhones because I never felt safe selling them, because I did learn that there were options for data recovery even after a reset. Am I a paranoid, delusional twat now?
No.
I don't think so.
It paid off.
So if you do own an actual iPhone and you're wondering, how the hell do I stop this from happening to me? What you do is you set your phone up, you plug it in, and you record a video that takes up your entire storage. And you do that 3 times. What will happen is it will overwrite all the data on the actual NAND, and should prevent stuff like this. So the only thing that should reappear would be the last time you recorded a video.
I don't think
Now
that's.
this will take a long time, so you'd want to have the settings set to highest possible, which would be some iPhones go up to like 4K. If you could do 40K 60 FPS, you do that.
Doesn't sound too feasible, but hey, man, you do you.
Yeah, it takes time, but if you want to make sure that your files are not quote unquote recoverable, that's how you do it.
Sounds extreme, but also interesting to see how it works because, well, reasons. Fucking
If you want to
reasons, eh?
sterilize the storage device on your computer or a phone or a tablet, there are steps that can be taken. Unfortunately, Apple makes it 10 times more difficult because you can't really run third-party applications freely.
I see what you mean.
If you've got a desktop computer, there's Dark's Boot Nuke, which is open source, it's free, and it basically does what it states. It will boot and then it will nuke your hard drive. But you can't do that with an Apple device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I find this extremely comical, and people have been shocked, and it's like, why are you shocked? You're just being a stupid idiot. This is possible. Why are you finding this like novelty and strange and bizarre, and you want to go into a full-on panic mode? What the
Well,
hell?
well, but then again, we do know that the majority of people are not that, that level of tech literate. Well, not yet, at least.
Well,
I mean, you're pretty much explaining to your old grandpa how to turn on a computer without
that's.
make him use Google.
I mean, that's really besides it. Like you mean, let's say this: you have an iPhone, you use it like you normally intend to use it. And then you got moments where you need to take photos of stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not taking dick pics.
Well, but if you
Right.
do, I mean, right now would be a good time to stop.
Ugh.
Right, exactly. And then at that point, and then this happens, and then suddenly those inappropriate pictures suddenly start reemerging on the phone, and the new owner has the unfortunate experience of seeing them.
Or
I hate to put it this way, but what happens if like a married couple turn around, they take some saucy photos of each other, and then later on down the track they decide, well, you know what, we're going to reset our phone, we're going to give it to our kid, and then they get to see all the saucy stuff show up. That would just
but wait.
that would ruin that kid's life. I'm sorry.
Oh, but wait. There's more.
Apple, thank you for this.
Oh, but there's more. There's way more, actually. What if, let's say, 50 years down the line, too, when you're old in your deathbed, I mean, like, your grandkids come to you and say, hey, Grandpa, what's this picture? It's your dick pic from over 50 years ago.
That's just going to make you shrivel up inside.
Well, if you don't die instantly, too.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, indeed. Holy shit.
So what next is on the table?
All right, here's another one on the table we've got for you. Now, if you think this is crazy, then get a hold of this. I have.
Oh, boy.
Okay. An NBC animal documentary claims this is a queer planet.
Corporal slop. A queer planet. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No. What the fuck is released? What the shit? Oh my god.
Sorry, but this kind of reminds me when a special sort of what was it, museum that was talking about how ancient Rome were white supremacists because all the statues are white.
Bro, holy shit. I mean, sure your statues were amazing and all too, but I mean, you're better off, just going on E621 of all places for that kind of shit. I mean, this is I'm guessing this is what old boomer zoophiles would jack off to.
No. This isn't it. What this is it's a documentary set to be broadcast by NBC. Asserts that we live on a quote unquote queer planet
Oh
in
my
which
god.
homosexuality is widespread in the animal kingdom and there are more than two genders.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, so my argument with that is yes, hermaphrodites do exist, but they are extremely rare.
And and even then, you got the issue of amorphous fish like cuttlefish and that in the ocean, and but that's a whole another issue.
Well, no shit.
Now, let's. I've got this shared on a tab, and we can actually listen to this on the audio on sharing. So let's have a listen.
The paparazzi really are everywhere.
Everything you were taught as a kid is wrong.
You make me wanna dance.
Gay penguins, bisexual lions, sex-changing clownfish.
This is a queer planet.
Queerness has always existed. It's only in humans that we have such a stigma about
What
it.
the fuck?
The idea of just having two fixed sexes is clearly out of style.
What
Mother
the
Nature is
fuck?
pretty open-minded.
You make me wanna move like I'm crazy.
Sex is not just for reproduction.
It's clear that no matter where you look on our planet,
Yeah,
nature
yeah.
is full of queer surprises.
Yeah, I get you, fucking
To be honest,
sodomite.
we should all probably get laid a little more than we do.
No. No. Nah. I'd rather be laid with a human than a fucking animal. God damn.
Okay, look, they're probably approaching the whole thing in a wrong sort of manner. Initially, and this was back when life was, well, like single cell organisms, they basically split. You want to reproduce, you basically split yourself in half, and oh, look, you've got another one. It was a radical change to bring out two different types of parts, things to be able to kick out something else. That was a huge change.
So I probably let's say
So
if you bust a nut every time you jack off, it means you're a fucking parent. By now, you should be a fucking great grandfather by now, huh?
that's a few billion years ago, by the way. I mean, back then you were also looking at when you wanted to digest something, you just simply sat on it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no. Basic organisms, in order to digest something to eat it, would basically sit on it. So it was radical decision when it was enclosed inside the actual the organism itself.
Like a starfish?
But this is we're going back like a long ass time. So to assert that oh, this is new, no, it's not. It's the idea of having requiring two separate organisms in order to reproduce something else is brand new. It was a radical change.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can even tell just by reading all these fucking words. What's
Now,
this over here?
Let's unpack all this stuff that they're trying to really push in this.
Yeah,
just a little trailer there.
just look at this. Lions practice infanticide. Many other species eat their own offspring. Should we start normalizing that too?
Let's have a think of this. Like
Oh my God.
let's see what are they trying to push here. Let's answer the question here. Like let's go back a couple of paragraphs in this thing here, and or even a few seconds in this video. Like, look at them. They're like the people are saying, in the trailer saying the idea of just having two fixed sexes is clearly out of style,
Uh-huh.
and Mother Nature is pretty open-minded.
Okay, sodomite.
just to describe it, for instance, how many animals in today are capable of single reproduction, so asexual reproduction, without having like a partner?
I don't know. Starfish?
Jolt?
Slugs.
Yeah. So the quote-unquote standard way of reproduction is requiring two specimens to donate in order to shoot out one or a dozen or whatever. It's not my brain hurts.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's and they're saying that nature is apparently full of queer surprises.
Oh my god. Queer surprise. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, what they're trying to promote is just a bunch of zoophilia. That they made it clear.
I mean, what they're trying to promote is if animals are are doing this and this, and they just like, okay, Mother Nature's like, okay, whatevs, it's just Gucci and life goes on. Why is it a problem in the human world is so stigmatized?
Because, let's be honest, there are some diseases, right, that just came to humans when humans were getting it on with fucking animals. Like,
Look, that's
amnesia.
not the point of this whole argument here. The point of this whole argument is
Oh
why
my
is
god.
they're trying to say why is it so stigmatized that these in the human domain, why these animalistic behaviors like these gay let's go back to here, gay penguins, bisexual lions, and sex changing clownfish. Why is it so stigmatized in the human domain that
All right.
in the human context?
Here's a question. If you get a bunch of 6 guys hanging out, is that going to be like some gay orgy? And not like a bunch of either married or half of them are married to wives who have a connection and the other half are like family related or something? That has to be like a gay gathering.
You know,
Dumbasses.
pretty much, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, we're humans. We're not fucking penguins. We're not fucking lions. We're not even fucking fish. We're humans, right?
I love how they're trying to turn around and go, oh, it has to be this. It's like, no. How do animals interact socially anyway?
Because they're a bunch of fucking zoophiles promoting this shit.
I mean, if you say what you want about them, but at the end of the day, I think the whole gay thing is also a very prevalent thing in just this whole.
What's that single line? Nature is apparently full of queer surprises, according to the documentary. I disagree with that. I'd say you probably lack the understanding of the actual species itself. I mean, wolves are, wow, that's completely batshit crazy. There's a meme I've seen going around years ago now where it pointed out the alpha wolf wasn't in front, but at the back. And typical sort of thought would be the alpha wolf would always be at the front.
What the hell?
Yeah, that whole alpha beta thing is just fucked up by people.
Yeah, no shit. It's fucked up by people, and it's even more fucked up as these people can be. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, yeah, I mean, sure. Fuck's sakes.
I love it how people see the kind of people with this mentality would say that we're wait, is that necrophilia?
Right. I mean, here's the
Is
thing.
that no? Does it say Is that word necrophilia I'm seeing?
Yes, because this is the thing. Like these behave. Like let's say for example, like what this this article is saying is should we as people like emulate or aspire to follow certain animalistic behaviors? Like you were saying with the necrophilia thing. Explorer George Molly Levick documented how Adelie penguins gang rape females and have sex with the ground, other males, and dead females lying frozen. Should we normalize necrophilia?
No. Clearly
no. Look at ducks. If you go do a deep dive into ducks, you'll find that they'll even screw their dead. So should we turn around and look at doing that as well? Should we normalize that sort of behavior like it says here?
Jesus is watching. Just so you know, like even better yet, God is watching.
There is a reason why humans, quote unquote, normally have sex with the other gender. Normally hook up with the other gender. It's called survival.
there's more to it than that. Too. It goes back to a whole thing by design. It's just the way it is by design. Now,
Jesus
to
Christ.
get back to the whole thing, like with the whole sex thing, there is one thing that did strike out in the video. Like the people who are the narrators were saying, sex isn't just for reproduction. It's and that's right. You take that thing and then it's like, you know what? This is just basically a bunch of people saying, you know what? They just wanna see the sex just to get their socks off.
You know, Sodom and Gomorrah used to be a place for that until God said no more.
Right, and then they're just saying, what do we unpack about this? That we should aspire to be as, if the animals are this so and so, should humans follow the same degenerative behavior, and should it be okay?
So hang on, the news article isn't actually pro; it's against.
It's against it,
Thank
against this
God.
whole queer planet thingy.
I'd
Yep.
still prefer if it was more of a neutral sort of stance, but okay.
Well, I mean, neutral. Neutral on what?
Well,
What?
I get the idea that people want to turn around, but for a long time, it's been pointed out that look, sex in the animal kingdom isn't the same as it is for humans.
Exactly. They've just basically, they just basically bait and switch, did a contextual shift, and and tried to present this as an argument as to why, if the animals are thing and Mother Nature is chill, why is there such a stigma in the human world? That's the bait and switch they're trying to, pull
Well,
to try and destigmatize these degenerative sexual behaviors in the human context.
well, Jolt, I'm gonna be real with you for a quick second. Yes, humans used to be like that, but different from animals, we learned a couple of lessons that animals didn't, and so we usually stick to what we know it's safe. I mean, if you had yourself a potential mate, who would you prefer? The one that gets railed by strangers, or the one that is loyal and loves you? I mean, which one do you fucking prefer? It should be pretty fucking obvious, right?
Of course.
See? That's my point.
Not all animals will reproduce with the same partner. They'll go for different ones each time.
Exactly.
It depends on the species.
Right.
It depends on the situation that they're currently in. I mean, if most of them end up being wiped out, the actions are going to change. If you end up, I think there was this study done on foxes at one point, and it was discovered that apparently they start having less kits when there's too many of them in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but there's just like when you really unpack all of these things and you look at the very title of this little documentary, Queer Planet. This is just a head. This is just a total cluster.
Indeed. It's oh my god. It's a clusterfuck of zoophilia. That's what I take of it. Hell, I mean, even then, I much prefer to get my socks off at a place like e621.net. And even then, ugh. Like, what the fuck is even supposed to be the point of all this stuff? God damn.
The point of this whole documentary is to normalize and destigmatize
Zoophilia,
LGBTQ shit.
which also stands for zoophilia. I get it. That point, they made it fucking clear what they're trying to do. If it is animals, and these sickos are gonna go for children, aren't they? I get it. I seen what they've done, what they do. I fucking seen it. All right.
Right ahead, fuck. Anyway,
Just the way they were talking, the excited sort of in the ad, how they were talking, they were so excited about this. They were saying, "Oh, this is amazing." No, it's not, and
It's
that's
wrong.
what's off-putting. Now, if they went for more of a David Attenborough slash, what was another person who was good with documentaries, but didn't have like a really excited. God, who am I thinking? It's one of those like popular science guys. Who's really sort of calm in their explanations.
I'm
It's
not
quite
sure.
old now.
But
Um,
you know what though, you look at the people who are presenting the show. You already saw the colored hair freaks on there, and that
Yeah,
should tell you everything that you needed to know about this show.
that is wrong. It's wrong on all fucking levels.
I kind of wonder what would happen if that bear study came out today.
I mean, you wouldn't have to look too far because the ones who would go after the bears for that kind of stuff, they just be fucking
Gil,
mauled.
Gil, I'm referring to these two bears that were studied who are basically giving themselves blowjobs
Oh,
like
oh,
several times a day. We
oh
brought it
my
up on the
god.
podcast once upon a time. I would wonder what would happen if that was news today.
Yeah, but on top of that, I was expecting that you were talking about like the popular meme about women either choosing a man or a bear.
Right.
Unsurprisingly, a lot of fatherless people chose the bear, and you can already tell. I mean, what the end result is gonna be.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, people who handle like bears in sort of a zoo type of environment,
No,
or
no. This is talking about if you were stuck in a forest, would you and you had one companion, who would it be? Like, would you choose a man or a bear? If you
yeah, my sort of point is that people who handle bears in like animal welfare or a zoos type setting basically state that look, you don't piss around with these animals. They will either be good or they'll basically be in a mode where they'll be playful, but they can still basically kill you.
Indeed, bears can
Now they
really.
won't mean to. They won't mean to by all means, but they'll still basically crush your chest, break every single bone, break every single rib in your chest.
hmm
But they won't be meaning to. They'll just be playful. So
I
yeah,
mean, there's plenty of ways you can answer that question. The whole man or bear thing, but
Pretty much.
but to get
Pretty
back to the whole, but if
much.
you want, but I suppose if the argument is if you wanted to have both, you the answer would be Baldur's Gate 3.
Pretty much. But at the same time, we can't forget that the word bear also stands for like a really hairy gay man too.
that is something I should probably ask: is how actual popular is it for having like dating inside of video games?
You
Romance
know,
in video games has it's been a thing for quite a while now. It's
Well,
just
no. I understand that there've been games like for dating and stuff, but more traditional sort of game, you go in and you do tasks that are generally not considered sexual.
right.
To have dating as part of it.
Yes, like many games like RPGs and all that have romance as a sub, as a sub thing for
yeah, I
for
can
character
already tell
development
where
and what
this is
have you.
going. I
So
can already tell where
it's
this is
very
going.
it is still it's very much a prevalent thing.
Indeed, but the thing is, I mean, is that the biggest problem is, there are like some people who can't tell that simulating dating is actual dating because let's be honest, there's a lot of people that are touch starved for so long that the chances of them getting laid is well minimal to say the least.
Just don't become one of those degenerates that want to have what is it? Government paid sex workers because just
Oh, guess what? Guess what? You remember the Japanese dude who married his AI waifu? Well, guess what? Now that his AI waifu is obsolete, unsupported, means the guy is basically he's fucked.
probably time to update.
Nope, no more update. It's just like gone. Fucking dumbass. I don't mean to sound too mean, but the guy's a fucking dumbass. He should have seen that coming for miles already. Don't you think so, Jilt?
Right, like marrying an AI waifu, seriously?
I mean, goddamn, I mean, that's trying to get it on, with
That's
Google's
really,
AI.
really scraping the bottom, the bottom of the finger. Granted,
I
if it was an AI waifu in with that's actually been in a robot, then that would be a different story.
It would make a little bit more sense, but not enough. That's
I think we've been dragging the bottom of the barrel for this for too long now.
nah. I
I,
mean, the thing is,
I'd
Noble.
have to agree with you. This and
But
already that stuff was already a bit, with the documentary was already such a head scratcher. It's
but but the thing is, Jolt. I mean, the thing is, we've been scraping the bottom of the barrel for so long that we've made through the planks, and now we're scratching the bottom of the. Well, we're scratching the ground now, and not only is it a head scratcher, but you scratched all the hair and skin off your skull, and so now you're scratching your skull at this point.
Okay, just going back to what was being said before about whole zoophilia and bestiality thing.
Mhm.
Documentaries like this do try to destigmatize the entryway to that. It's the same with the maps community. People who are vocal and outspoken about being the more on the positive side of it, unfortunately, point to, oh, well, kids do understand, we just don't give them credit. This documentary specifically basically states that, oh, look, yes, animals do understand sex, they do understand gender, they do have their non-binary sides, and I'm sitting there thinking, this isn't going to end well.
Yeah, they are basically trying to push people into zoophilia. That much
No,
they've
it's not
established.
push. It's not push. It's suggest that it's acceptable. That's what it's doing.
When clearly it's not. Which even does, remind me. Hey, Jolt, do you still remember the whole ordeal with the other Ken bullshit on schools?
Oh, Christ.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no worries, but yeah, I mean, it's that fucking thing again. Which it even reminds me too, like mental therapy is just way too overrated. I mean, any kind of mental help is just way too overrated now, isn't it?
I just don't know anymore, man. Heck.
And matter of fact, I mean, you sound pretty jaded too. I mean, at this point, I guess we're all just pretty much jaded and tired of all the bullshit too. Like, goddamn, we're
Yes, it
tired.
really is going tiresome. But as we are here, it is something that we still remain committed to really unraveling all the crazy shit in the world, in the planet that we live on.
Okay, it's just yeah, God's creation that humans ruined it. Humans, quote unquote.
Again, yeah, quote unquote humans is right. But anyway, I suppose I will say this though. With all of this stuff, surprisingly, there hasn't been an awful lot of items of interest this week. Even though that what we have was great, I would just like to say, I'd just like to say this is what we've got for the week. So, just yeah, let's just wrap up with a quick closing statement, you guys. So, Gil, what do you reckon?
At this point, if you can't get any mental help, you might as well just go see God. At this point, I mean, UB slop and corporal slop, even. Jesus fucking Christ.
Devil?
I'm sorry. I'm just not doing mentally well right now after that last one. I don't really want to see this go deeper, but unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, it's not a surprise anymore. You can already see it coming.
Yeah, it's become. You're right. It has become a lot predictable that they're going to do all this stuff in order to push certain messages. And yes, it does become, as you'd expect, predictable. But that's because these people can do nothing else except for and when they say these messages, they just keep doubling down and digging the hole so deep that they can't get out of it.
Oh, and of course, I mean, dare we say anything against them, and we're just being, intolerant. Oh, you're just being a bigot. Oh, you're just being
Yeah,
racist.
yeah.
Oh. I,
Thus,
s- I, sup-
tolerance is not a virtue.
I suppose, their father were quite a bit of a bigot to not be present in their lives. Holy shit. Which
Ah,
also,
well.
does reinforce the fact that having a father figure is incredibly important, too.
Mm. Oh well. Alas, thank you all for tuning in. I'd just like to say, hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, making it and bringing you the craziest stuff the planet has to offer. Well, as always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. All right, that's all we got for this week. From us to you, I'd like to say farewell. Until next time.
And until then.
I need to learn how to unfreeze my brain.